Gas prices are on the rise. With possible gas shortages looming, it's a good idea for us preppers to have some gas on hand for our vehicles and generators in case of an emergency. I previously used some cheap plastic gas cans like the ones that you could pick up at Home Depot for your gas-powered lawnmower. But with everything going on in the world right now with threats of possible World War III, I figured I should probably improve my fuel storage preparedness. So I wanted to go with what just might be the best fuel can on the market today, the Wavian Authentic NATO Jerry Fuel Can. In this video, we're going to go into a brief overview of the jerry can and into the features of the Wavian NATO fuel can. Let's get started. The Wavian steel jerry cans come directly from the factory that supplies many NATO countries over the past 75 years, and they're designed and built to the highest quality. They're based on the original jerry can design from World War II, and the cans have been rigorously drop tested, pressure tested, and flame tested to ensure that they're one of the safest options for transport and storage of fuel. Each Wavian jerry can features the UN certification number on the handle. They're a little bit on the expensive side at around $75 to $80, and prices are going up due to things happening in the news today. The Wavian NATO fuel can is leak-proof, UN approved. It features extra thick 0.9mm steel construction. It has a very wide breather for fast, smooth pours, a fully resistant interior paint, safety locking pin, strip welded handles for extra strength, and is manufactured to DOT requirements. Actually, Wavian currently produces the only EPA, CARB, and DOT approved steel fuel cans that are 100% legal in all 50 states. It includes a spout and an adapter for vehicles with smaller filler receivers. You can get them in various colors such as OD green, black, blue, yellow, and red. In my preps, I'm going with red for gasoline. Before going further, let's briefly talk about the history of the jerry can. The name of the jerry can refers to its German origins, with jerry being slang for Germans. It was first developed in Germany in 1937, and the design was reverse engineered and copied with minor modifications by the Allies during the Second World War. YouTuber Calum recently did an awesome video titled Jerry Cans, the True Secret Weapon of World War II, which goes into a lot of details about the history of the jerry can. You should definitely watch it, link in the description box. In this video, I'll briefly highlight the primary legacy features of the jerry can in relation to the Wavian jerry can. They're designed to hold 20 liters of fuel, or 5.3 US gallons. The jerry can has some awesome design features. The sides of the cans are marked with cross-like indentions that not only look cool, but they also strengthen the can while allowing the contents to expand as the cans travel from hot climates and cold climates. There's also an air pocket under the handles when the can is filled correctly. This air pocket allows the container to float if dropped in water. Rather than using a screw cap, the containers use a cam lever release mechanism with a short spout secured with a snap closure. And it has an air pipe to the air pocket which enables smooth pouring. The interior of the original jerry cans was lined with an impervious plastic. The Wavians are sprayed on the inside, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. The can is basically designed of two parts that are welded together. Wavian features really awesome welding that's indented so it doesn't get damaged when traveling. Some of the cheaper jerry cans that you might see on the market will have the welding easily exposed, which could become damaged if it were to be dropped. The recessed welded seam stiffens the container and protects the seam from impact damage. Probably one of the more unique features of the jerry can itself is the handle design. The Germans originally specified that a soldier should be able to carry either 2 full containers or 4 empty ones, which is the reason the triple handles were fitted. You could use that center handle for one person carrying a single can. You could use the 2 outer handles for a person lifting a full can. You could also use those 2 handles for 2 people carrying a single can. And then the configuration of the 3 handles allows 2 empty jerry cans to be carried in one hand. This allows a soldier to be able to carry 4 empty jerry cans. And if they're full, they would use the 2 center handles for carrying 2 full cans. Jerry cans use a color coordination system, which I personally like. This helps prevent contamination of the can's contents by mixing different fuels or mixing fuel with water. The rectangular shape of the can itself makes it stackable, which is one thing that you cannot do with the cheaper plastic gas cans that you could get over at Home Depot. As you can see, it features a very large spout and a flip-top closure. It also features a gasket for a leak-proof mouth. When the flip-top closure is opened, it will not accidentally fall over while pouring. It's locked into place, which is really slick. You also have that security pin to help prevent the can from opening while in transport. It also makes it a little bit more child-proof, which I like. The Wavian safety spout is developed for a fast, non-spill pour and contains a release mechanism which allows fuel to pour from the can only when the spout is activated, eliminating accidental spillage. To activate the spout, simply insert the jerry can nozzle into the desired fuel inlet, ensuring the spout flange is pressed against the rim of the fuel inlet, and when you've finished pouring, withdrawing the spout will automatically stop the flow of liquid. There's a lot of great videos out there that you could watch with regard to jerry cans and the Wavian can specifically. Wavian jerry cans put out a video called "What is the difference between a good fuel can and a bad fuel can?" That goes into details about some of the nuances which we've discussed thus far. For a very quick how-to video on using the Wavian fuel can, you should check out the video made by Swiss Link Military Surplus. Wranglerstar is a longtime advocate of the Wavian jerry cans. He bought a whole bunch of them and even cut them in half to see how the coating was on the inside. To be honest, it looks like the coating of the Wavian could be improved. It looks like it might not be as good as the original design, which had more of an impervious plastic. On some of the cans that Wranglerstar opened, it looked like the inside coating wasn't spread out as evenly. That video was from a few years back, so hopefully they've made some adjustments in the quality control. I especially enjoyed one of the videos that Wavian jerry cans provided, which does some quality testing, such as pressure testing of the can while submerged in a liquid. And lastly, Canadian Prepper put out a really good video a while back called Storing Fuel for Preppers. That one not only talks about the jerry can, but other fuel options as well for preppers. Links to all of these videos are in the description box of this video. There seems to be a lot more regulations for making jerry cans nowadays, compared to what was done during World War II. They must meet federal mobile source air toxics regulations based on the California Air Resources Board regulations. They must meet the requirements of the Children's Gasoline Burn Prevention Act, in addition to other regulations mentioned earlier. In the state of California, the following colors are mandated. For gasoline, you have red. For diesel fuel, you have yellow. And for kerosene, you have blue. The Wavian authentic NATO jerry can fuel meets all of these regulations, and you could tell just by looking and touching it that the design is built with high quality in mind. So again, it features a unique wide channel breather and smooth pouring spout. It's not lined with an impervious plastic, but it is lined to prevent rusting with gasoline, water, and alcohol resistant coating. Again, the cap has a locking pin to ensure that it cannot be opened accidentally. The bayonet closure is completely leak proof with the can in any position, which is one of the problems that I had previously with the cheaper cans that I was using for storage. I absolutely love the 3-handle configuration for easy grabbing and carrying of multiple cans. I wanted to have enough fuel on hand to fill up each of the vehicle's fuel tanks in addition to our generator. I also picked up a few accessories, one of them being the Mission Automotive jerry can gaskets. This is just a pack of 5 replacement gaskets for the 20-liter NATO jerry can spout. I also picked up the Wavian red long nose flexible NATO jerry can spout, which makes it easier to pour on some vehicles. This one is a really cool design, and the nozzle has flame arresters that help prevent ignited vapors from traveling into the can and blowing it up. It's hard to see on camera, but when you look at it closely, you could see what looks like a small filter inside of the nozzle. That's the flame arresters. Again, you're going to want to use stable storage fuel stabilizer. Normal gasoline doesn't last that long, having a shelf life of around 3 to 12 months. With the stable storage fuel stabilizer, it helps keep the fuel fresh for up to 2 years. A lot of preppers like using diesel fuel, which has a longer shelf life, but our vehicles use regular gasoline, so we go with the stable storage fuel stabilizer. At this current time, I'm not able to spend the $40,000 to $50,000 to get a fully electric car, but maybe someday. You'll want to make sure that you store your gas cans in a well-ventilated area and away from electrical outlets if you're planning on storing them somewhere like in the garage. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video featuring the Wavian Authentic NATO Jerry Fuel Can. I provided links to this jerry can and to the accessories that were featured in this video in the description box below. I am not affiliated with the Wavian company in any way and purchased all of the items myself for my own personal fuel storage preparedness measures. I purchased these cans for $75 each a few months back, and they are already moving up in price to well over $80. This is most likely due to concerns with the rising price of gasoline going on right now at the time of the making of this video. Whether this is due to fears of international conflict occurring, gas shortages, or just inflation, gasoline is definitely something us preppers should ensure that we have stored as part of our emergency preparedness planning. Also, the bad guys seem to be out right now, targeting vehicles in the middle of the night for valuables, catalytic converters, as we discussed in a previous video, and more. It's only a matter of time before we see bad guys stealing gasoline from parked vehicles. If gas shortages happen and the pumps are closed, it will be good to have a stash of gasoline ready to go in case of an emergency. From my personal research, the Wavian Authentic NATO Jerry Fuel Can looks to be the best one on the market today for not only storing, but also transporting fuel. It's built with high quality materials, great welding, is thoroughly tested, and based on the awesome original design of the jerry cans used by all military forces during World War II and up to this present day. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comments section regarding this video, and stay tuned for more emergency preparedness videos. See you next time.